Shea Bangaliers with the walk-off. Today on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Boney. One name, all passion. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. Been an A's fan for over 40 years. I've seen it all. Seen the Bash brothers hit absolute nukes. I have seen the big three absolutely deal. And I have watched games at that thing they called Mount Davis. I've been riding with this squad for 4 decades. And let me tell you, the A's are not some scrappy underdog anymore. We are stacking chips and building a dynasty for 2028 Las Vegas. And this franchise has always found a way to flip the script. And right now, the MLB, Major League Baseball, these kids are turning it upside down. We've been playing spoiler. We've been getting hot. And we're free and available wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube. So smash that subscribe button right now and join the ride. And if you are in Nevada, catch Locked On A's every day at 12:30 on Silver State Sports and Entertainment, Digital Channel, and Cox Channel 77. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. Gosh, guys, what a game. What a game. I mean, I understand it's the last series of the year. Not much to expect from it. But anytime you can get a walk-off win, it's always fun. Especially with 2 outs, bottom 9. I don't know what the left fielder from Kansas City was doing on that last play. It was just absolutely awful. Anyway, we have a great show in store for you today. 2 days till the season ends. Ends on Sunday, obviously. Last game on Sunday at 12:05. I will still be here during the offseason, 5 days a week. What offseason content do you guys want to see? I want to hear back from you. Let me know here in the chat. Email me at lockedonathletics@gmail.com or shoot me a message on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at Locked On A's. Later on the show, we're going to have Flashback Friday. Going to show you a game from the past. What happened? Give you guys a little bit of memory of exactly what it was. Luis Morales going on the bump tomorrow. Probably what I've been looking forward to most in this last series. And hey, we're going to talk about today's big win. Tereshon, what's happened to my man? Let's go. Astros lose 2. I haven't cheered for California Angels of Los Angeles since 2002 World Series. Sem boy, let's go. I thought Barnett pitched well. I thought Barnett fought, right? I thought Barnett fought. He's been doing the same thing all year. He's pitched well. He's always had that big inning where he's given up a few runs, right? 3-4 runs. So at the end of the day, his line doesn't look as great. Yeah, and his ERA with the A's, just under 7. In Vegas, same thing, right around 6 something. I don't know if Barnett's going to be the answer for the future. It was nice to see him bounce back. I don't see him part of the 40-man next year. I don't see him spending much time on the big club next year. I don't think he's going to be a difference maker. But sure, it was nice to see him fight back. It was his best start of the year. And that's one thing you can always guarantee from a Mason Barnett, was that he's going to fight. Was T. Long on the TV broadcast? I was listening on the radio. There was for an inning. Yes, he was. He was great. I always loved T. Long. I felt it always an underrated an underrated athletic, Terrence Long. Liked him a lot. Always thought he was just absolutely fantastic in an A's uniform. I thought he was a big part of those early 2000 teams and set the stage for everybody else in the middle of the lineup on those teams. I thought he was great. today's game got behind right off the bat, 3-0 on the Jonathan India 3-run bomb in the fourth inning. Barnett gave up a couple hits, 2 outs. India homer down the left field line. And what was even more exciting was Jacob Wilson's gapper in to left field. They actually played him in, if you saw that. They played Jacob Wilson extremely shallow, and it was nice to get that big hit with 2 outs. Tie the game at 3. Awesome game, man. And of course, in the 9th inning, Darell Hernaiz, man. Jesus. Does that guy just continually just get it done? Darell Hernaiz, 2 for 4 again today. I mean, I was just saying yesterday or 2 days ago how Darell Hernaiz, I still feel it though, still saying the same thing. How is Darell Hernaiz constantly playing every day? But the thing with Hernaiz is it's hard to keep him out of the lineup. You look at his numbers across the year, they're nothing special. He's hitting .236, but he has a good glove. A solid glove. And he's always making something happen at the plate. 2 more hits today. He got on base with 1 out today. And Schumann pinch hit for Brett Harris, who grounded into a fielder's choice and ended up scoring on Langlear's double, which was disgustingly misplayed by Adam Frazier in left field. I mean, that was just awful how Frazier played that. Worked out for the A's. Schumann came around and scored. We got the win. And again, same story as it has been for the last month or so, guys. Bullpen. Hogan Harris, 2 innings. No hits. No runs. No walks. 2 strikeouts. Justin Sterner, 1 1/3. 1 hit. 2 strikeouts. No walks. I mean, how good has this bullpen been? 76 wins. It's exciting, man. Barnett did settle down. He kept us in the game. He could have easily gone the other way. And the A's just hung in there. Langlear's 2 for 5. Kurtz 0 for 4. Rooker 1 for 3. Jacob 1 for 4, but had the big hit, 3 RBIs. That was fun to see. Tershan, how do we feel about Wilson batting 5th? I like him batting 5th. What are you going to do? It seems to be right now the way they've been going with it is if a lefty's on the hill, Wilson's batting 5th. If a righty's on the hill, Wilson's been batting 2nd. I got to look back and see how consistent that is, but that's what I have noticed. Lawrence Butler, 1 for 4. Strikeout, had a stolen base. I got my feelings on Lawrence Butler. I got my feelings on him and his year. And my opinion may not be the most popular. And I'll get to that up next. What do you get when you have a bald eagle standing on top of a silverback gorilla riding a T-Rex? Confidence, pure confidence. If you are looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Go Long. That's exactly where Rougiette's Go Long comes in. This isn't just another ED pill. It's a total game changer for confidence. Go Long combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in 1 dual-action formula, so you can get hard and go the distance. The effects last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to RUGIET.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com. Promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so they know We sent you. Lawrence Butler, 1 for 4 today. Averaged at 235. He stole another bag. He ends up going 2020 for the year. Only second A to do that since Cocoa Crisp. Lots being made of it. The other night I commented on Lawrence Butler and I said, Lawrence Butler is somebody that's just good enough to get you beat. He's good enough to get you beat. And for somebody that watches the A's every single game like myself, I think I may have a different perspective than some of you. I've watched all 30 spring training games. I watched 162 of the regular season games. I saw Lawrence Butler play last year. I may have seen every single one of Lawrence Butler's games. And it's nice for him to get the 2020. For me, the 2020 was simply a statistic milestone he wanted to hit. It was one of many things that Lawrence Butler is extremely selfish about. At the beginning of the season, Lawrence Butler did not talk about winning. He talked about making the All-Star team in Atlanta, in his hometown, after he signed the extension. Lawrence Butler, in so many games this year, drew a walk with 2 outs where we had to have him steal second base. He wouldn't do it. He would never go for second. Nothing, when anything was on the line, Lawrence Butler has folded. When things have been decided, Lawrence Butler's great. He was great in the second half last year. He's been great in the second half this year. Anytime there is something that counts, can't count on Lawrence Butler. Now, with that being said, I've also said we need, in order for the A's to take the next level and be a championship team and be a playoff team and contend for a title in the next 2 years, we need a good Lawrence Butler. So, in other words, what the hell am I saying, right? What I'm saying is I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Because right now, the way I see it is Lawrence Butler is good enough to get you beat. He struck out 175 times this year. One of the highest totals in all of the American League. Excuse me, I'm mistaken. 179 times. 179 times. We've seen his body language. That just absolutely screams selfishness. Listen, guys, is my criticism on Lawrence Butler harsh? Maybe. Is it fair? It might be. But I'm going to tell you what I think. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And I hope to God I'm wrong, because we do need a very good Lawrence Butler. But right now, the way I see it, Lawrence Butler is just good enough to get you beat. That's for sure. Today, I had a crossover episode that we recorded that will premiere on Monday with Locked On Marlins host Jeremy Geigert. And we had a little bit of a flashback when the A's visited Miami. And we won game 1 of that series, if you remember. But game 2 of that series, if you remember, Mason Miller comes in the 9th and gives up the grand slam to Kyle Stowers. Well, at the end of every single game, what we like to do for MLB Game Night is record a 60-second short so they could kind of play on their show. And if you haven't checked it out, check out MLB Game Night. They cover every single game, every single night, all season long until a World Series champion is crowned. You can find MLB Game Night on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. That was a great segue in for that. But we covered, we each did a 60-second short with regard to our post-game reaction on that game. And I want to play you those side by side. It's kind of funny when you see both reactions, one, the losing team, me, and one, the winning team, him. Here it is.
What did I just witness? Kyle Stowers, a 2-out.
I'm absolutely stunned.
Walk-off grand
right
slam. What's up, guys? It's Jeremiah Geiger from Locked On Marlins.
Booney from Locked On
against Mason Miller, the best closer, one of the best closers in baseball.
Marlins,
the Marlins with 2 outs.
5 in the
never
ninth.
die.
Mason Miller.
They load the bases, and Kyle Stowers
sends
everybody home happy with a walk-off grand slam. What just happened?
I don't know what to say.
Max Meyer got the start.
I am sick to my
got
stomach.
roughed up. 10 hits. Gave up 3 homers.
Sure Jeremiah,
and that was going to be the story of the game.
From Locked On Marlins.
Bad start from Max Meyer. The A's were ahead pretty comfortably. The Marlins battled back. They never quit.
Yeah.
And in this 9th inning, the Marlins just walk it off. I'm in shock.
For a long.
Kyle Stowers, 2 home runs today. He's absolutely on fire. Let's go fish.
That game was back on May 3rd. A's were doing all right at that time. I believe 18-13, and the Marlins were going in the opposite direction. You could check out the full episode of that on Monday. It premieres at 12:30 on YouTube, wherever you listen to your podcast, or if you're in Nevada, Cox Cable Channel 77, I believe, and Silver Sports Network. But yeah, Luis Morales on the bump tomorrow, guys. Gene, what's up? This is still painful. That was still a painful loss. The only good part about that series, which I did mention to Jeremiah, was the next game we win in 10 innings. Soderstrom with a 10th inning hit. We win by 1 run. Oh, that game really hurt. Turning point of the season, I don't know about that. We won the next game, but, at that point, all the games we needed, we couldn't give away any games. I think our problems, Jay, were a lot deeper than just that one game. But, yeah, there's no question about it. We went back home after that, and I believe we lost. Is that when we played the Mariners at home, I think? We won the first game against the Mariners. I forget exactly what it was. But, yeah. Andrew, was at the game tonight. Very cool, man. How was it, bud? Just got to my car. This game was by far the most electric game I've been to this year. Wilson's clutch double that scored 3 and the walk-off. Crowd was into it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a bummer it's over, especially when the A's are playing their best ball of the year, right? But very cool. Very cool. I was planning on going tonight. Didn't quite work out. But I think the big game I'm looking forward to in the last week is tomorrow. I'm interested to see how Luis Morales does in his last start. Luis Morales has been good. Luis Morales has been very, very good since he has gotten called up. Sure, he's had some tough times, but, for the most part, he's been good. And we'll review those starts. Jay, I was just looking at this. That was the start of what was to come in the horrid May of month. Well, all right, so let's look at that. We lost that game, and then I forget exactly who we played. That's why you're making me look it up. That's okay, though. You're still my guy, Jay. All right, so we lost to the Fish. Way back then in May. It was bad, though, huh, wasn't it? Yes. Okay. So we lose to the Marlins. We come home. We face the Mariners. We actually win game 1 against the Mariners. Great win. We lose the next 2. Then we lose 2 of 3 to the Yankees in May. Then we go to LA. We win the first game. And then it started. That was it. And then it started. Huh. Thanks, pal. Yep. Thanks, pal. Yeah, Mariners and Yanks. Good call. Mariners and Yanks. Then we win game 1 against the Dodgers, right? I'll be at the game tomorrow. I'll be in the booty seats right on the net, going all out for the last game of the year. That's awesome, man. The Dodgers series, you remember game 2 of that series, Cherishon? We were up in that game. Hoagland was on the bump. Soderstrom had a bomb the center. And then the bullpen came in. Rooker's K's looking right down the pipe, right? Yeah. Yeah, all those blows. Cherishon, I think the blow in that whole little stretch was that series against the Giants. I mean, Wilmer Flores hitting 3 bombs. The next night we lose 1-0 on a Miller walks in. Who do you walk in? Yastrzemski, I believe. Or Flores, one of the two. And then the walk-off in the day game. Not the walk-off, excuse me. We had the lead up until the 8th. I think Lamont Wade had his only hit of the year. And then Patrick Bailey, I think, had his only hit of the year, driving in Wade, and then Ramos with a hit, and Jesus, it all went bad. Kurt's first home run that game, game 2 in LA. Was that his first home run? I'm going to fact check you on that. You might be right. No. Kurtz, game 1. Yes. Game 1 of that series. Good call. It was game 1, not game 2. Game 1 of the series, Kurtz had his very first home run. Game 1. It was a 2-run bomb. Solo bomb. But that was game 1. We blew him out. Everybody was homering that game. Jacob Wilson has 2 homers. Andahar had a home run. Blade had a home run. Kurtz had a home run. Everybody. It's so strange how we go from the worst bullpen in baseball to the best, and it took a trading away. Here's what's crazy, though, Cherishon. The first 40 games or so, not even that, first 30 games or so, we had the best bullpen in baseball as well. And then it just went south. The problem was a lot of people put blame on Kotsay and how he handled the starting pitching and not letting him go. And I went back and actually visited those games, and that's not true. He let his pitchers starting pitching go at the beginning of the season. They pitched a lot of pitches, man. They just were not efficient. JP Sears walked a lot of guys. I mean, you really look at the beginning of the season, man. In the first game of the year, Severino threw 99 pitches in 6 innings. Springs, 83 pitches in 6 innings. Badeau, 81 pitches in 5 innings. Sears, 91 pitches in 6 2/3 innings. I mean, the whole year. Badeau in Colorado, 87 pitches in 5 innings. Sears, 87 pitches in 6 1/3. Estes, 61 pitches in 3 innings. Severino, 96 pitches in 7 innings against San Diego. Springs, 103 pitches in 5 innings. Badeau, 90 pitches in 5. He let his pitching go. It wasn't on him. Our pitching just wasn't efficient, where we had to just eat the hell out of that bullpen. And they were good at the beginning of the season. It was good at the end of the season. Hey, Radio, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I've been waiting to sport it. Thank you so much, man. Sterner was untouchable. Did you know Sterner? I had a count on Sterner for a while. Spring training and the regular season, like the first 35 innings, he didn't give up a run. It was crazy. It was crazy. I want to talk about those games, and I want to talk about Luis Morales as well. Also, if you guys can do me a big favor, think about what you guys want, content you guys want to see in the off season. It's tough. It ain't easy. I don't think there's anybody else right now covering the A's in the off season. So let me know what you guys want. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you are ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you will get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you would like to bet. Player props, building a same game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you are watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So are you ready to play? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. D. Kotze has been solid this year. I wouldn't go that far. He's been okay. I don't know about solid. Hey, listen, at the end of the day, we can second guess Kotze as well as much as we want. Bottom line, D30, he has respect from the guys in his locker room. He is a leader. They trust him. They've known him for a long, long time. We could sit here and play Monday night quarterback all we want, armchair quarter, whatever you want to call it, and second guess decisions that he makes in the bullpen. At the end of the day, what do you really want out of your manager, right? You want leadership. You want respect out of your locker room. I don't know. Time will tell. I don't believe he built a culture at the beginning of the season. I believe there was a lot of excuses due to the minor league ballpark that hurt play. With that being said, we don't know what was going on behind closed doors. From the outside looking in, and when I saw the team perform and play, even before the losing streaks, I had questions with regard to culture and leadership. With that being said, it's easy to say now. I want to hear more about potential draft picks for next year this offseason. We need to load up on pitching. You got it. Chucky, who do you see being the closer next year? That's a good question, man. Jeez. There's two ways we can go about that. Who I want to see personally, and I know he's not going to get the job, I want to see Hogan Harris. Or is it going to be a situation where it's by committee, like it's been in the past month and a half, 2 months? Michael Kelly one night, Hogan Harris another night. Do I dare say Elvis Alvarado, Justin Sterner maybe? I don't really like that. Do they go out and sign like a Devin Williams? Try to get a closer or a guy who used to be that guy and hope he regains that type of life, similar to how we signed Leclerc. Do we do that? There's a number of ways we can go about looking at it. I would have liked to see Gustavo Rodriguez get called up. He's in AAA Vegas right now. He's the only guy that's gone up consistently. He started in High A Lansing, got promoted to Midland, that got promoted to AAA Vegas. He's killed it on all levels, too. I think he's had one bad outing the whole year. Sean Armstrong as a closer. Sure, I could see something like that. I wouldn't mind that either. Got to remember, though, Armstrong is going to be expensive. Armstrong is going to be somebody the bigger teams, the bigger markets want. Do you want to pay a premium for Armstrong? We have to spend money. Yes, but what do we want to do in the offseason? We've talked about this on many of occasions, and I still believe the priority in the offseason needs to be extending guys like Kurtz, like Jacob Wilson. Timmy Burns had a great idea the other day, and I think his idea makes complete sense. You extend Kurtz, you extend Wilson over the next 10 years for whatever it costs. Whatever it costs, you extend Kurtz and Wilson and make them the face of your franchise. And once you do that, now you put their face on the casino walls in Vegas and so forth. It gets the city excited. It does something for the brand. I think idea is perfect. I think that's what the A's should do this offseason. I think that should be their priority above everything else. And I love Soderstrom. And I'll put Soderstrom on that list as well. He's the same age as Wilson and Kurtz. So nice to see Jay Wilson get the clutch bases loaded double in the battle of shortstop. What's up, Salty Tom? Yeah. Him and Witt, for sure. Big hit. Big hit. You see how shallow they were playing Wilson too? They played him so shallow. I wouldn't say he necessarily hit a gapper. But, yeah. Give Kurtz $200 million and Wilson, whatever it takes, Salty. I just want to see for 10 years. And if that number is higher than 200 and 175, so be it. That's how this is how this franchise gets to the next level. This is how this franchise puts all the crap about the past and not extending and not spending and not retaining players is by doing exactly that. I think that needs to be a priority. I don't think we wait on that. Because no matter what you want to say about Oakland and the departure from there in ownership, the criticism is fair. Fisher is not a good owner, depending on what you define as good owner. If you want to define good owner as far as profitability and running it like a business, yeah, he's good. As far as running it as a baseball team, no, he's been terrible. A's right now as a product is not a good product. They are not a good product. There is no trust with regard to the franchise. And the criticism is fair. Bottom line, you have three guys right now. Nick Kurtz, Jacob Wilson, Tyler Soderstrom, that could be all-stars year in and year out for the next 7-8 years. If you want this franchise to gain some credibility, you have to extend all three of those guys, or at least Kurtz and Wilson. There's no reason not to. The Red Sox did so with Roman Anthony and with the other kid they had as well. There's no reason the A's shouldn't do that. They have to do that. They have to do that. We barely escaped for sure. Jay, do you agree we have trade assets? I believe there is in depth within the minor. I believe there is with the depth in the minor leagues in big position. No, I don't. Okay, so what trade assets? Yes, we do have trade assets, of course. But the trade assets are prospects, are young kids. Our only real trade asset, I would say, that I'm willing to get rid of? I don't know. I don't think we really do, Jay. Sure. Do we have, DeVries is an unbelievable trade asset. Kurtz, Wilson, but guys, I'm not willing to trade at all, nor should you be. Maybe Rooker. I don't want to get rid of Rooker, though. So, yeah, they're definitely putting some work on it. You see some pillars up in Vegas. They're definitely putting work. Soderstrom might be the hardest working guy on the team, learning to play first base and then left field while having a breakout offensive years. Jeez, he's really come along, isn't he? You see, how about that double he smashed off the wall in left center field today? The guy is just bashing to all fields. 25 bombs. 22 years old. 23 years old. Which infielder will start the season next year in sack? D35, what I like right now, and I've said it for a while, is here's how I see our infielders next year. Kurtz at first. Shortstop is Jacob, right? Now, as far as the middle infield positions, I think Muncy is going to have second or third. Now, that depends. What Gelof's going to show up? Ideally, we want Gelof in there. But Gelof has to get better. Gelof's a Gold Glove caliber second baseman. Now, the other player we have right now is Brett Harris. Brett Harris is a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. And I think Daryl Hernandez takes the spot of Schumann as that super utility guy who can play all the positions in the infield. That's how I see it. Now, if Harris and Geloff both falter, then sure, one of those positions is going to go to Hernandez. Ideally, we want to see Geloff be back to 2023 second half Geloff and be that guy, ideally. I hope he comes back like that guy. That would be a perfect situation. But Geloff, Harris, or Hernandez in one of the last three positions, with Muncy playing either second or third. And the other guy I would like to see get an opportunity is Carlos Cortez. Carlos Cortez can play infield. So we'll see what happens. Fun fact, my wife named Daisy is a Kansas City Royals fan, so this was fun to watch. That's awesome, man. Salty, Langoliers, Wilson, Kurtz, remind me, Posada, Jeter, Rivera. As far as kind of the cornerstone, yeah, I like that. I like that for sure. For sure. They got to keep him, Salty. Ownership needs to do something, man. They need to make a statement. They need to make a statement. Okay? Because what happened in the past as far as not retaining players is true. It happened. I was there. I saw it. I'm calling it. After watching DeVries this past week, he's going to hit his way onto the big club by the All-Star break next year. It could even be sooner, Salty. It could be. Right now, I see DeVries' path the same as Kurtz in the sense that, hey, he's going to get invited to spring training. He won't make the opening day roster no matter what. They're going to send him down. But like Kurtz, if he tears it up the first 30 games, bring him up. Bring him up. He has to tear it up, and he has that type of potential. And we've seen that from him. So we could see him sooner. We could see him sooner than later, but he has to produce. It's on DeVries. If he's not producing, they're not going to rush a 19-year-old kid up to the big leagues. Geloff getting hurt again, though, pretty much closed the door on him for me. Well, look when he got hurt, right, Terashawn? He got hurt at the end of the year. He was struggling when he was up here. It may have been a good thing. I hear what you're saying, though. I hear what you're saying. For me, I was indifferent. Him getting hurt or not getting hurt didn't have any different feeling for me as far as what his future would be. He still needs to get better. He still needs to prove something. He's still on the outside looking in. Salty, starting lineup, September next year. September, so this time next year. Okay, DeVries at third. I like that. Wilson short. Kurtz first. Rooker DH. Soderstrom left. Lang, Butler, Muncy, Clark. We'll see what Butler does. I'm not sold on Butler, Salty. I'm not sold on him. He has to do some stuff in some meaningful games. Something we've never seen him do. We've never seen Lawrence Butler play big in games that mean something. We just haven't. You look at most of his home runs and most of his production this year have been in blowouts. He has rarely done something when it counts. And again, I'm all over Butler today, but I've had it with Butler a little bit. I've had it with him. Strange considering he's playing great down the stretch. But as I said earlier in the show, he got his stolen bases. He got his 2020. To me, was something he was trying to get for stats. There was several occasions this year where he was on base, 2 outs, running on first, no one on. And I'm screaming at the television, steal second. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. We need him to come through when it counts. Now, with that being said, like as I also said, in order for this team to be a championship team, Lawrence Butler has to contribute. So we need him. And I'm hoping I'm wrong, which I have been on many of occasions. Booney, what is your take on the Royals You got an aging catcher in Salvador Perez. You got a superstar at shortstop, obviously, in Bobby Witt. They need to get back to that Royal team of 2015, right? Scrappy, fast, ran the bases well, incredible bullpen. They're not going to be able to win based on talent alone. Bobby Witt, I don't know if he's going to be able to carry him to the promised land, just himself. And Perez is getting older too. Younger, faster, bullpen, pitching. Also, what hurt him this year, though, is Cole Reagans has been out most of the year. He was their stud. He was their guy. Go New York Yankees. Yankee fan here. Butler is great for a 6th, 7th hitter. Wherever he is, he needs to hit. If it's 6th or 7th, great. And we can't have 180 strikeouts. 180 strikeouts is just not acceptable, man. 180 strikeouts. You know what the next guy on the A's is at? 180 strikeouts. I believe it's Kurtz with 140, I want to say. Butler's strikeout total is just ridiculous. Come on, man. You can't strike out that many times. Here it is. Lawrence Butler, 179 strikeouts. Kurtz, 149. Brooker, 153. Rooker's not great either. But you got 26 more than the next closest guy. Anyway. What can be done about Law? Are we going to regret his extension? No. Gene, his extension's not that much. You know, it's not like we're paying a ton of money for Law. So it was a good contract for the A's. It made sense. It's not going to kill us. He has 30-30 talent, I think, for sure. He certainly does. I mean, he played in games this year, 151 games, guys. Had 566 at-bats. Had his chances. Salty, Jameel Weeks. You always bringing up Jameel Weeks, man. University of Florida, number 12 overall. Yeah. Jameel Weeks. Hey, I thought Jameel Weeks was going to be like Jameel Weeks was going to be like an MVP candidate. I'm not kidding, man. I was so happy when they drafted Jameel Weeks. I thought he was going to be like an MVP guy. Oh, man. Multi-year all-star, lead us to the promised land. Stop it with Jameel Weeks, man. Butler knows he didn't play his best, but we need him. Yeah, it's not hard to figure out he didn't play his best. He was terrible. He was terrible this year. It just is what it is. He wasn't good. He wasn't good. Question is, I am welcomed. 100%, always. We need second half 2020. Oh, geez. Angelo, this year he had a good second half as well. But I've said it on many of occasions. Whenever you play with expectations versus no expectations, two different players show up. That's the hard part. Booney, who do you like from our young starting pitchers? Perkins, Lopez, Barnett, Ginn, Hoagland, Bedot, Morales. Next year, this is what I like. 1 and 2, you have to go Severino and Springs, no matter what. What you pay matters. And you guys remember who our big stud free agent pitchers were last year? Excuse me. Yes, last year. Alex Wood and Ross Stripley. I mean, those guys couldn't get me out. And they were starting every single game. They were healthy because they made money. They're going to be 1 and 2. 3, you got to give it to Lopez. Lopez was unbelievable this year, right? 4, right now it's Morales. And 5, if I was to pick somebody, I think the 5 spot, everyone's overlooking Hoagland. Everyone's overlooking Hoagland. Hoagland, when he pitched his opening game against the Marlins, was fantastic. He was hurt after that. He pitched against Seattle. He was tough. Don't look out for Hoagland. Barnett, forget about. Ginn, no. Morales is going to be right there. 1, 2, 3 is Severino, Springs, Lopez. They got it locked up. The next 2 spots, Morales in this order. Morales, Hoagland, Perkins. Forget about Badeau. Badeau shouldn't even make the team next year. Morales, Hoagland, Perkins for 4, 5, 6. There's another guy. You guys talk about closer. I can see Jack Perkins being a closer. Do you think Kurtz could ever be Miguel Cabrera type, Triple Crown winner, etc.? I know he can hit for average as well as power. His eye for pitches is elite with 1,000%. We've seen that happen. We've seen that happen in stretches this year. He's power to all fields. He has the ability to walk for sure. Strikeouts need to come down. But again, it will. It will. He struck out a lot. Something that is not common for him. But he struck out a lot in Vegas as well. Yes, for sure. Nick Kurtz is that type of guy who you can see hitting 44 bombs, 328, 138 RBIs. Filthy numbers like that. Butler is going to have to beat out Thomas and Bolte moving forward. There's another guy, Henry Bolte. I'm not there with you on Colby Thomas. Another guy who strikes out way too much. I think Butler has Thomas beat out, but it should be interesting to see how Henry Bolte continues to progress and continues to get better. Because you talk about, when people talk about 5-tool, you look up the definition of 5-tool, you see Henry Bolte. Henry Bolte is going to be special, man. He's going to be special. He's going to be in the mix. And consider him on that same type of timeline as DeVries and Kurtz. If he tears it up the first 30, 40 games next year in AAA, you could see him up. You're right. The outfield's going to be a crowded outfield, but we need some players. But right now, our outfield is crowded with only one player that can really help you win a championship, and that's Soderstrom. We'll see how Clark's bat is as well. Defensively, Clark's as good as anybody in the history of the game. But is he going to be a liability offensively? That's the question. But right now, when I look at our outfield, I see a crowded outfield, but I see only one player that can really help us win. I see a bunch of average outfielders. The outfield next year is going to be up for grabs. Yes, Michael A. Taylor. I was just looking at Taylor today on the Royals 21-22. Yes, absolutely. Taylor was a good player as well, man. Mondesi, I don't remember Mondesi as much. Taylor, I definitely do. Hoagland or Perkins is the number 5 guy. Hoagland is nasty, man. For sure. Highlight for this. Me too, Tirashan. Oh, he was filthy in that outing. I was like, you saw that outing. I'm like, this is the guy we've been waiting for. And then he came the next outing. He pitched against Seattle at home. He didn't look bad. That was the afternoon game. Seattle came from behind. And they won. And then he pitched LA. He got hit hard. He didn't get his first 4 innings were okay. And then he started giving up a lot of runs, but he was hurt at the time. And that was the last we saw of Hoagland. How's Hoagland going to bounce back? I like Hoagland, man. Nasty. Filthy. Weeks was too skinny. One thing I always think about with skinny average shape guys get yoked with all the money and resources they have in the pros. Throwing breaking balls at Thomas and Geloff and they're toast. Yeah. Boney, do you know Chance LeBeau, the podcasters? I've heard him before. We've exchanged messages. We tried to do a crossover Locked On Royals when the A's played back in Kansas City a few months back. But no, I don't know who he is, but exchange numbers. He does a good job, though. I think he does a good job with the few times I've listened to him. He does a nice job. But yeah, guys. Hey, walk off tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch. Sunday, 12:05. That's a wrap. That is it, man. That is it. Appreciate you guys as always. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. And again, any ideas for off-season content, shoot me an email, lockedonathletics@gmail.com. Shoot me a message on X @LockedOnA's. More guests. Terrashan was talking about draft. Anything you guys want. That's for sure. Anyway, guys, take care. Catch you guys later. Oh, what do you guys got here? Bamboo! Appreciate you. Hey, Salty. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You take care. Later, Hank. Have a good one, man. Thanks for... Take care, fellas. Appreciate you guys.